Be quiet. I'm in an office. All right, I think we are live now. We got Jack Zagunis and Mr. Zach Shelley. How is everybody doing today?
I'm great.
Awesome. We are going to give. Appreciate everybody showing up. We're going to give people some time to stroll onto the YouTube and the Facebook feeds. We are recording this and live, so we will see how this goes. I'm super excited for this one. We are going to start a new series where we try to get some of our successful members that have, just closed a deal or in the process of closing a deal and talk about what that process was like. Today we've got Zach, who's been killing it in the real estate investing game. Zach, have you been wholesaling primarily, or what is that? What's your kind of primary? Okay,
primary wholesaling right now. Absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Awesome. So Zach started. Have you been a member since October? I think, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. October. So Zach started with us. I remember talking to Zach back in October. We had a couple coaching calls, and about a week ago, I got an email from Zach and Jack that said that he had just closed his first wholesale deal. And man, Jack and I were both super excited. We were calling everybody at the office saying that Zach finally closed it. We're good to go. So we were here rooting for you, Zach.
Back up now. Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So if you guys don't know me, I'm Curtis Roddy with Roddy's Foreclosure Listing Service. My dad started this company back in the 60s. We track foreclosure data across the state. We also provide a bunch of foreclosure or real estate investing services for our members. And then we've got Mr. Jack Zagunis. What do you do?
So my role is unique in that I have a lot of experience helping investors get deals done, whether that's on the courthouse steps or straight from the homeowner, pretty much anywhere besides the MLS where you'll want to use your local realtor. So anything off market I can help you with, and they hired me to help people get to the closing table.
Awesome. And Zach, all right, tell me, how did you get in real estate investing?
Wow. It's a very long story. Back when I was in college, my dad was actually interested, right?
Okay.
He was really interested in it. And at that time, I really didn't know exactly what he was doing. I just know that he was going to these different workshops, interested in real estate, right? He wanted to invest in real estate. And then when I graduated college, I stopped playing football. And I really wanted something to kind of fill my time, right? I have a W-2, but with football, if you eat, sleep, and breathe football and it goes away, you kind of get bored a little bit, right? So I wanted to find something kind of to fill that void that would also be kind of, not only mentally draining like football is, but kind of physically as well. And so that's how I, stumbled upon real estate investing. So.
Awesome. So you're playing football, looking for that next rush. It's so interesting that we have another podcast, the Real Estate Rockstars podcast, where we interview like top tier agents from across the country. And we were just interviewing a guy who he was a D1 football player at Boise State, and like he was saying, he got out of football and he was working a W-2 job, and he was like, this just wasn't cutting it for him and giving him that excitement. And so he got out of that and he got into real estate, and kind of the same thing. He's like, he loved it because, he could kind of control how hard he worked. The harder he worked, just like in football, kind of the more, results he got. So That's awesome. So when did you start investing or getting into wholesaling and everything?
It's actually funny though. So I established my LLC August 14th of 2019. And I closed on my first wholesale deal August 14th, 2020.
Whoa. That is so cool. God is good. Yeah. That's got to be a sign.
All the time,
that is so cool, man. Well, and so you started your LLC. What was that like for you? Obviously there's, I'll point out, like we talked to a lot of real estate agents and investors from across the country. And one thing that we hear all the time, it's like, so I got my real estate license, or I started my LLC, and I didn't get a deal for 6 months, or I didn't get something going for a year. And it's like, I was driving Uber for a year and a half or 2 years. And then I finally got a deal. And now they're like, on 30 under 30 for real estate agents or something like that. And so it's always like pretty inspiring to like talk to people that like are in that process right now. It sounds like you're there. You kind of like went through that drought, and now we're closing deals and all that. So so you started your LLC. What did you do after you started your LLC?
I really just took a deep dive, right? I just started taking action, and Jack and I have had numerous conversations about just do it, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people who want to start, they don't take much action because they don't want to make mistakes. Well, like from what I've noticed in the industry, you're going to make mistakes, right? You just got to keep on moving forward. I've had deals locked up, whether that, they just didn't happen for me, whether it be title issues, or, you lock it up it was too high, you couldn't dispo it, just different little things that you learn from, right, that make you better at the end of the day. So that's kind of what happened to me. I just kept making mistakes, kept learning from those mistakes, and finally was able to, walk away with a pretty decent wholesale fee of $10,000.
Yeah, that's pretty good for the first one too.
Yeah, it's funny though because I was driving for dollars, and I actually got it locked up back in March, but that was when the pandemic hit. So buyers were really hesitant at that time, right? And
so you've been holding on to this deal for 5 months?
Oh yeah.
Oh man, that adds a little bit more drama to it.
It does, right? And then, so I still kept good rapport with the seller. It was actually for sale by owner, and he wasn't in a rush at all to get rid of it. I followed back up with him, as Jack always says. The money's in the follow up, right? So you had to follow up. So I followed up with him. I was like, hey, you want to give it a try again? Buyers are back buying. My partners are buying again. He was like, sure. So I locked it up. Maybe 2 days later, found a buyer, and we closed on it. So,
man, that is, gosh, I thought it was just going to be like the persistence from like going from the zero to the first deal, but not only that, you got something listed in March or under contract in March, and somehow were able to pull that off 6 or 5 months later. That's pretty crazy. I mean, so you've referred talking to Jack a couple times. Jack, how did what was that like? Kind of starting to work with Zach. Obviously, I think our whole company has been talking about Zach for like 6 months because we've been all pulling for you, and we'll see your deals come across, and we're like so close to pulling the trigger on them. And so, Jack, what was that like for you?
Oh, it was exciting. I mean, Zach was so much fun to talk to. And, the thing I liked about Zach is he told me on one of the first contacts that, I do not give up. I try very, very hard, and I'm going to get this. And I see a lot of other people getting it. I have a lot of motivation in my life. And so he and there were some naysayers in his life too. I remember him saying too, some people saying, ignoring him or shutting him out or saying you won't get this. And he completely ignored those people. He completely went for the people. He surrounded himself with people who were telling him that he could do this, that there's a possibility for him. And the thing I liked about Zach too is that he kept his W-2 job the whole time. He didn't say, okay, I'm going to quit and I'm going to do this full time. I think in the beginning, you really should keep that W-2 job so that you have the stability to go back on, and you're not so desperate when you're making those offers and so desperate when you're trying to find a buyer that you're cutting your commission down to $1,000 just so you can get it done. So those are some things that I really enjoyed about Zach.
That's fun. So Zach, you started. How did you decide you wanted to wholesale? Obviously there's a lot of different avenues. What about what were you I guess drew you to the wholesaling market?
So as you guys may know, it's a huge misconception, right? If you don't have much money, then the best thing to do is do wholesaling. Which now that I know more about it, there's a lot more exit strategies than just wholesaling, right? That was kind of my thought process when I started. Well, I need to start off with wholesaling and then develop a lot of more capital to be able to do a fix and flip or just different things like that. But now that I know, I'm more open and I understand that I can do just about anything right now, not just wholesaling. So. And
are you only in the DFW market right now?
Yeah, I am. However, I am actively trying to invest out, outside of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. And back to what Jack was saying, I'm not one of those guys who, wants to leave his W-2. I don't want to get out of my W-2. I actually enjoy it, right? But again, I want to apply myself, the best of my ability. And so that's why I want to kind of do real estate part-time. And even if I were to, you guys know my goal is to do one deal a month, right? But even if I were able to do 2 or 3 deals a month, like I don't think I'd still just leave my W-2 to invest in real estate full-time,
Yeah, that's awesome. So you love what you do.
Yeah, I don't dislike it at all. I actually enjoy it. I just like real estate as well,
Yeah.
That's that's a great position to be in, because it doesn't put you in a position where you have to make that bad decision or make a decision to get that house or something like that. So, do you think you'll do wholesaling? Like, are you kind of for the next property, you're going to do wholesaling, or are you going to try to buy a property with no money down or something like that?
Well, if the opportunity presents itself, definitely buy it with no money down. I really want to get into the rental space and have a long-term cash flowing rental. And honestly, another goal of mine is my dad. Like I said, my dad has always been into this, and him and I always discuss back and forth about him and I getting a property and maybe flipping it as well. So
that's awesome. So, man, there's a lot of things. What suggestions would you have if you were like somebody brand new, just like you, 1 year ago, 1 year and 7 days ago, right? You're getting into the business. What was, like, I guess, the biggest hurdle for you starting off?
Well, for me, it was just seeing everybody being successful and not knowing how to get there, right?
Yeah.
I was consistent, I was persistent, but I just didn't understand how, this person here is doing exactly what I want to do. What do I need to do to get there? And a lot of people may see just the big checks, but they don't know the hard work that goes behind the big checks, right? And a lot of it is entrepreneurship as well. If you don't have that like go-getter mentality, then this business may be difficult for you,
Yeah.
So I would encourage those that are just now starting off to really, really think, like, why do you want this, right? Why do you want to be successful at this? If it's just for money, then you may burn yourself out. You really have to want this and be persistent in getting that.
So you say you started off, you kind of, I mean, I know we talked about likely to sell leads. We talked about pre-foreclosure stuff. We were all different types of leads. I kind of broke my heart that the first deal wasn't a pre-foreclosure or some like mega deal that you found, but I nonetheless were super excited. You were driving for dollars. You found a FSBO. Did you find? I mean, what was that process like? I guess were you just out driving around? You saw a FSBO sign. Are there other lead sources for FSBOs, or what were you doing?
I was literally just driving for dollars. And I saw it was a FSBO, and I called the guy up. Him and I spoke for maybe 30 minutes on the phone, just back and forth, sharing different things. And he goes, "Man, I feel like you know exactly what you're talking about." So, because originally he wanted this outrageous amount of earnest money, and I was like, "There's no way, right?" There's no way. And so he's like, "You know what? I feel like you know what you're talking about. We can go ahead and do what I originally proposed for the earnest money." And we took off that way. And then, like I said, the pandemic hit. I couldn't dispo it. No one really wanted it, even though it was a deal, right? It was a great deal in a great area, growing area. It was actually going to be a tear down. And for some reason, I just couldn't get it dispoed. And so I just followed back up with him several months later, seeing if he'd still be interested, and I found a buyer. So yeah, I was just driving for dollars.
So we say, it looks like Jack dropped off there. I don't know what happened, but
yeah.
we say a lot. We say driving for dollars. For somebody new that's watching this, what is driving for dollars? I mean, can you explain that a little bit?
Absolutely. You put gas in your car, and you literally drive and you look for distressed properties, right? High weeds, boarded up windows, window units, whatever shows signs of distressed owners or distressed properties. You want to get the information of that property and obviously find the owners and reach out to them to see if they want to consider selling. This property was not only distressed, but it was also for sale by owner. So the guy was wanting to sell the property.
Was he living in the property at the time?
It wasn't. It was actually a rental. It was a rental,
Okay.
and it was pretty beat up, right? And so he wanted to get rid of it, and it was too bad of a shape to put it on the MLS.
So you found the property. I mean, so you're looking for signs of distress. I think everybody knows what that is, right? Like you talked about
Yeah.
high weed, something to say that like something's not going right there.
Right.
What? So you found that. What'd you call it? You say, hey, your house looks terrible. I think I want to buy it. I mean, what's that conversation like?
Yeah. So I called the guy. Actually, what I always do, if it's for sale by owner or it's just I'm just driving for dollars, I always look up the owner's name.
Okay.
So when I call them, I can address them by their name. I want to already start building that rapport with them. So I called them. I said, hey, my name is Zach. I just came across a property I believe you own, and I see that you're interested in selling. Would you tell me a little bit more about it? And then that's kind of how we start the conversation from there.
Okay. And then,
Yeah.
I mean, obviously this wasn't the first offer you made or the first reach out that you made. What I guess for other people that didn't have their house on the market, what's that reach out like, right? So let's just say you're driving and you see that there's weeds really high and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
What's that conversation look like?
So is this for sale by owner or no?
Let's say I give you one of Roddy's flagship products, right? The pre-foreclosure list.
Okay.
You're like, man, I am so excited. The auction's on September 1st. I've got a couple of days to get this under contract and disposed.
Mhm.
What are you gonna do?
Well, okay. So if the auction is in a few weeks or a few days, I'm going to reach out to them and let them know. It's going to kind of be the same verbiage. My name is Zach. I like to buy houses in a certain neighborhood. I don't know if this house belongs to you. I would be interested in buying it. If you're interested in selling it, please, call me back. This is going to be like RVM, right? That's normally going to be my first touch, RVM. And then if they call me back, great. If not, I send another RVM. And then if they don't get back with me there, then I'll try to cold call them.
Okay, so RVM for everybody that's listening in the future, that's ringless voicemail, correct?
Yeah, that is.
All right, awesome. Jack, you're back. You missed a lot.
My wife told me that my voice was like really, really fast when I was talking, and it was gargly. So
I thought it was just on my end. I was like, all right, well.
No, I was speaking at a normal cadence about Zach.
You're so excited.
And I'm really glad I wasn't the focus of this webinar because I had computer problems. So anyway, I'm so sorry. I'm back.
All right. So Zach, so we really talked about half of not the problem, the opportunity, right? Half of it is finding the property, reaching out to the owner, getting it under contract. The other half on the wholesaling side is building that buyer's list and putting the package together and all that. So what's that process like for you?
Yeah, so for me, if I get a property locked up, I obviously want to go by and take photos. You obviously want to run your comps to see how much you can dispo. You want to assess the damages, if any, right? So you want to develop this package. And the way I do it is I include the comps, obviously the pictures, and everything needed so that buyer knows exactly when they open this email up, all the information is right there, right?
Yeah.
They're not gonna, if they want to go do their own due diligence, that's fine. But I'm going to give them everything that they need, as well as the asking price, so they know exactly what's going on with the property.
So, and what was it like building that buyer? I mean, how did you build your buyers list? Are you going out to? Obviously, you're not going out to RIAs right now.
Yeah, no, I'm not.
It's a little bit more difficult to network than usual.
It is, right? So and this is going to be a gem for people that didn't know this. I just found this out. There's a system to where you can scrub Facebook groups for emails. Instead of just copying and pasting and putting it in Excel, you can scrub the groups. And with a click of a button, and it'll collect all the emails for the buyers. And then it'll put it in an Excel file for you. So that's what I've been doing ever since I started, always collecting buyers' emails. And then, when I got to a point where I could actually dispo, I sent I use constant contacts to send out the email campaign.
Gotcha. So you'd get the emails and then just start sending emails out to that buyers list.
Exactly. And some of them I have phones for. Then I may send out a text campaign as well for the buyer. Yeah.
I learned something. I mean, I tell people every day. I learn something new every day. I've been doing this for 20 years, and man, that's pretty cool. So you had a scraper go to Facebook. What's that? And what is that called?
If you just Google email scraper,
gotcha,
or email scrubber for Facebook groups, and just download it as an extension on your Google, like your Google browser.
Yeah,
it'll attach up there, and you'll get all of them. You guys didn't know that, did you?
Man, I did not know that. I'm telling you, that's really cool. That's real. Like, it's thinking outside the box, and I think a lot of people have a hard time, building that buyers list when it's not COVID, when there's not quarantine going on, and like you're able to go to RIAs and that kind of stuff.
Right.
Thought outside the box on that. Jack, do you have any questions?
No, I just want to thank Zach for coming on, and if you guys know of any deals, I'd love for you guys to reach out to Zach up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, too, Zach Shelley. If you know any deals, or if you have want any help with anything too, he's a good resource for you. So just let us know.
Yeah, I really appreciate you hopping on. Like I said when we started, we're going to start trying to do some customer or member success stories once every couple of weeks. Zach, I'm super excited that you're our first one.
Yeah, Zach.
Yeah, I told you to keep it under 20 minutes. We're at 22 minutes. So anything else that you think other people should know about you or about this process, or before we go?
No, just reach out. I would love to connect with other investors. This is definitely what is the quote? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. That's kind of my mindset. And so I want to connect with as much people as I can.
Dropping motivational quotes too. I'm gonna have to paint that on the wall. If people want to contact you, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, so I just give out my number. You just give it out now. Yeah, my cell is 214-498-1246. That's my cell number. And then my email is alistpropertiesllc@yahoo.com.
A-List Properties LLC. Always it blows me away whenever those names are still available. Right? You can't go get I can't go get Dallas Home Buyer, but A-List that's a good one. A-List Properties LLC.
Yeah, at yahoo.com.
All right. I'm going to put it in the comments so people can reach out to you. Are you okay with that being in the comments?
Absolutely. I want to connect with everybody.
All right. Reach out to Zach. Thanks, Zach. We're excited.
Thanks for bringing it, Zach.
Absolutely.
Way to finish strong, and hopefully this is just a start for you.
I know, right? I'm so excited to keep pushing forward.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
All right. Bye-bye.